to what John said relative to parity. We need to elect people who demand, and we need to demand that our elected officials provide health care that does not exclude mental illness or substance use disorders. And that's just a given. To bring it out of the shadows, we need to demand that. We're fortunate in New Hampshire that our bipartisan effort resulted in Medicaid expansion for our state. But we're not having that same conversation in Washington. And people want to roll back the clock and have associated health care plans that don't cover pre-existing conditions and that don't cover mental illness. We need to demand that that stops.
Hi, Joan. Thank you for inviting me. I have a daughter who suffers with mental illness. She's one of those ones in the hospital waiting right now. I couldn't tell you how many months she's been in ER this year alone because of the lack of care here in this state. The residential here in the state, how many beds do we have? Like in Concord and Manchester, I think it's like only 100 in each, or not even. They told me that it's years wait for her to get in a residential. She's going around and around and around. They let her out, she almost dies, they bring her in. They let her out, she almost dies, they bring her in. There is no treatment. I'm sorry, I have to say that I don't talk right or political. They have no help. There is no help. They get her on her meds and out she goes. She is on a conditional discharge. She has a guardian. There is no help. There are no residents for her. There are no, she is now, the last probably 4 years has been into heavy drug use. We have zero. If somebody knows of someplace, please tell me. But I've looked. 0 rehabs in this state that can treat someone with severe mental illness like my daughter has. Oh, they say they're dually diagnosed. You give them their records, and unless they want their money, which someone just took quite a chunk from me and said they could handle it. And 2 weeks later, they said she needs too much care. And by the way, that check is ours. You know, and this is in this state that we're allowing this to happen. Why don't we have any housing for someone with severe illness that can be in a safe area, a young woman? I don't know. Am I wrong? Is there more housing than I know of for residents to get them out? Because when they're in there, she comes out and she can't even go into a store. Her anxiety's so hard because she's been in there so long. Okay, so she can't even walk into a store. She needs step downs. There isn't, she has not had any offered to her. None. And not that she wants the help. I so identified with your struggles with your sister because Jenna doesn't want any help either and doesn't think she needs it. This may sound like maybe you will think I don't get this, okay? But the stigma, I hear it, yeah. I think it's more like money. Like, why aren't we getting money for this state? There is money, and why aren't we building those things for people so they can have long-term, happy, useful? She wants to be like Linda, independent. She doesn't want to have all that taken away. And these housing would help people with mental illness that can't live on their own. I'm confused why there's none here, or minimal. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there are 1,000 beds in the state. I don't think there are.
There's a lady down here, Phil.
I would just say, while waiting for the next question, I mean, part of the mental health settlement agreement is to provide some subsidized housing units. I don't think anybody thinks that there is enough housing that's available. And I would also add that we need to stop talking about stigma and start talking about discrimination. That's really what we're talking about.
Hi all, my name is Deb Carr-Francis. I would like to see the person that had the question about medication.
No,
That person is still here?
Yeah, he's sitting.
Okay. First of all, I want to say that I was diagnosed with manic depression, and that's what they called it back in 1984. And since then, I'm going to be 57 this year. I think I counted, I've been on 23 different medications. So I'm not a scientist. I don't work for Eli Lilly. I have no education at all about chemistry. But I can tell you that those medications are the reason why I'm here. And those medications, even though I felt like I was dying, even though I gained weight by them, even though I was lethargic and could barely get out of bed, it took years sometimes to find the right combination, but I did. And there's a lot of, you know, Joe and I can't even talk about you right now because I will lose it. But there's a lot of sadness in this room, and there's a lot of sadness in the story. And there's a lot of sadness because there isn't a lot of help out here. And without the help, it's very difficult to get the help for your loved one because there really is a very lack of it, and it's a crucial lack. But I do want to say that there's hope. And how you can help somebody is to tell them that there's hope and to tell them that treatment works. And then to give them an opportunity to know that, you know, you're there for them unconditionally. People don't take medication. It's a fact of life, and it's a fact of mental illness, period. The stigma has a huge part of that. Who does want to say they have mental illness? And who does want to take medication? Psychotropic drugs aren't easy to take. They're not easy to admit that you take. But I can tell you, in my experience, and I can only speak to mine, that they have worked, they have let me live an incredible life, and that's what I can say about the efficacy that it's meant to me.
Thank you.
It does. Yeah, it's holistic though. It's not just the medication.
Yeah,
I've had to be in therapy.
Deb, thank you so much for that, because then this speaks to this as well. My sister used to say to me when she was on medication and she was doing well, she would say, I think I'm like a diabetic. I need to take my insulin every day in order to be okay. Now her insulin, she understood that that was her lithium and Zyprexa. It works. It doesn't always, the same combination doesn't always work for every single person. And you have to get the right dosage, and you have to get the right therapist and the right doctor in order to get that combination. And sometimes it takes years, but without it, Deb, you wouldn't be here, and without it, a lot of people would not be here as well. So it does work. It takes perseverance to follow it through.
But there's always hope.
There's a
And can I just add, while we're waiting for the next question, that in another area of discrimination, that research regarding medications and mental illness far lags behind other major medical conditions. And that's another area where we need to lift our voices. I heard somebody say the other day that the FDA, that during the past year, has, and I don't remember the number, approved, you know, however many different medications. Not one of them was a medication for mental illness.
I'm a fellow NAMI board member, and can identify what Justice Broderick talked about, at least when I was young. People that were different, the best way to cope with them was to push them aside, to kind of isolate them, to treat them different, because you didn't really know how to deal with them or cope with them, and you didn't have that experience. As I grew older and I was exposed more to mental illness in my family and in the community, I became more involved. Basically, I've been allowed into that room where those people are all concerned about mental illness. Hopefully that's the room we're in today. And kudos for making this movie, because that kind of information to share is great. But there's not a magic bullet right now. What we need to do is to expand the conversation. We can't just all share how sad it is, because we're all sad about what's happening. We have to take it outside these doors. We have to risk once in a while talking to a friend who we didn't bring the issue up with before. And we may feel uncomfortable, we can't pursue it very far with that person. But then we need to try to talk to the next person that we can do that. We need to have people feel, because we are humans. If we can get people to feel the pain, they would do something. But it's too easy to say, they're different, we're going to put it to the side, and we don't want to deal with it. So it's important for us to take this conversation and make it personal and take it to the public. Because the public will respond eventually. There's nobody in this room that wouldn't say, let's have more money for housing. Let's be more assertive in what we can do for people. But telling each other isn't going to get it done. We need to make this conversation go outside this room.
So we're winding down on time a little bit, and I would just like to maybe have time for one or two more questions. If I can get everybody in the room to agree that when it's time to leave, we're all going to walk out. We're not going to stay here and chat. We're going to take it out to the hallway. We can probably stay for a couple more minutes, but I need everybody to, to sort of agree that we can do that. And we will, the panelists will stay outside in the lobby, but when it's time to clear out, we're going to have to clear out. Question, thank you.
Well, I don't have a question, but I was wondering if there would be any way to be able to put programs together to get people out hiking, canoeing, fishing, rock climbing, and such like that. Groups that can be put together while they're being helped medically, and to get them excited to be part of the community, to do things outside with most other people.
That's a great question, and I'm going to pass it to Maggie. There was a great program that we started at Keene, Net Family Services, and Maggie has quite a program at her mental health center.
Oh, cool. Yeah, so I would say again, of course, resources are tight, but we do have in the state the luxury of a program called In Shape, which really focuses on wellness for people with major mental illnesses and allows them to work with a health mentor and to get dietary help, to get nutrition, to go on hikes, we have a very active program in our Laconia office in particular, and we have a waiting list because people have seen the difference. They've lost hundreds of pounds, they're hiking now, they're having friends, they're joining clubs, and In Shape was started in Keene as Ken said, and it is a Medicaid reimbursable service in the state of New Hampshire, which is pretty amazing for our state.
It's also evidence-based,
And
right?
it's evidence-based, yes.
Okay, yes, go ahead.
Quick comment in terms of resources. I had been the state planner for the mental health block grant. It's a small chunk of change. It's about $1.5 million. I know that is not a lot of money. But it primarily supports 10 peer support agencies around the state, one in every county. And at least 3 of those have what are called crisis respites, which are generally short-term, maybe up to 2 weeks, sometimes longer. No strings attached, beds in nice quarters where an individual can just go and chillax. And they're safe, but they're not barraged with all kinds of, did you take your meds or whatever, because that's the nature of peer support. It is peer support. And what my comment is heading to is how grossly underutilized the peer support agencies are, the crisis respite beds are. And part of that problem, as I saw it, is that in the majority of the hospital emergency departments, nobody's even saying the words, let alone calling the center and saying, hey, could you come in and just do a group talk, about peer support, where the agency is, what you have to offer. So there's things that are underutilized, and The other piece in terms of that block grant is that that's all the money there is, very little from general funds. So in terms of people wondering, you know, well, what can I do in my community? Check out the peer support agents and see if there's something they need. It could be as simple as a new lamp, but they're free to accept them. And they do take individuals and groups to, you know, down to the river, to the beach, have a potluck, whatever. And that's all, I'll shut up now.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. I think we can do one more. We got one more?
Good. Oh,
I'm a member of the care committee at my faith place, and can someone mention what the care committees can do, or what we can do in our faith communities?
Sure. You know, I think for starters, you can be welcoming, and I think sadly so many people have experienced it when they have mental illness or a suicide death in their family, that their faith community kind of leaves them out in the cold. And or as we hear said, that, you know, the casserole dishes don't come. And that's not certainly every faith community, but I think being welcoming relative to that is really important. Talking about building community from the pulpit, from church activities and church bulletins, providing information about peer support agencies in your area, or where to access treatment. I think that there's, you know, faith communities are a key place, and I think sometimes part of the piece that gets lost in what the opportunities are for alternative supports that are available to folks. Anybody else? Phil, do you want to remind us about the screening on public TV and the date?
October 15th, 10 p.m. And there'll be other airings as well. If you go to NHPBS.org, we'll have a list of the various areas.
So could you also mention we're doing another screening like this on next Monday? Could you let them know about that so you may have friends in the western part of the state?
Yes, in case you didn't hear Susan, there's going to be another screening next Monday, the 24th at Dartmouth-Hitchcock. Same group of wonderful panelists. So if you have anyone in that area of the state who would want to watch the film, spread the word.
So let's have a big round of applause for this